Plum Tree Identification. When fruit is visible on the tree, it is simple to identify a plum tree. In the absence of fruit, it is not so simple. At a glance, other fruiting trees can look very similar, and the only way to tell them apart is through subtle differences. Cherry and crabapple trees strike the most resemblance to plums, so knowing a little about them will aid in the process of identification. There are two distinct kinds of plum trees. Fruiting plums bear the edible fruit you find at the grocery store. The non-fruiting or ornamental plum trees are referred to as flowering plums. The flowering type may develop small edible hard fruit, but it is only of interest to the birds. Flowering plums have been bred for their colorful foliage and attractive flowers. Most of the fruiting plums have a common rounded crown and are a medium-sized tree. The flowering plum varieties may come in weeping, horizontally branched, and dwarf forms. Plum leaves are oblong in shape with a pointed tip. The leaves are surrounded by serration similar to what is found on a knife. Species plums have green leaves, but many of the hybrid varieties will have red to purple leaves. A purple-leafed plums are the ornamental type, which carry their deep leaf color throughout the season. The colorful leaves are the strongest reason to plant a flowering plum. Some of the most popular dark-leaved plums are variations of Prunus ceracifera. Common varieties are Thundercloud, Hisardi, and Newport. There are two types of edible plums. The European variety is the most common in temperate weather regions. Like many fruit trees, this plum is very hardy and needs a winter chill period to fruit well. This group includes the Italian prune plum and the damson plum. The other fruiting type is the Japanese plum. Examples of Japanese plums are the Santa Rosa and Satsuma varieties. Plums may be yellow, red, or purple, and the fruit comes in different sizes from 1 inch to around 5 inches. European plums ripen late in the season, and Japanese plums are earlier. Plum bark tends to be dark, smooth, and unimpressive. Older plum trees will have slightly rougher bark, but nothing ornamental enough to mention. This is one way to tell a plum from a cherry or crabapple. Cherry bark has obvious horizontal lenticels or lines on the bark that go around the trunk. Crabapples develop plated bark that looks like rough squares up and down the trunk. Fruiting plums are in the Rosaceae family, which have simple 5-petaled flowers. The ornamental plums are bred to have single or double white or pink flowers. Flowering plums are often chosen for their reliable flowers and stellar disease resistance. The double flowering plum, Prunus trilobate, is a good example of this. This plum is a multi-stemmed shrub no taller than 12 feet at maturity. When in bloom, Prunus trilobate will be completely covered with double pink flowers.